Slow down, you move too fast. Gotta make the morning last. Kicking down the cobblestones. Looking for fun and feeling groovy. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-dum, feeling groovy.
Well, welcome everybody. Is that feedbacking to everybody? You feeling the hearing feedback? So I'm not sure what's going on. All right, see if I can move my speaker out of the way. Is that better?
It's better, yeah. Kind of resolved.
Kind of. I'll try to turn my speaker. I have a new mic. It's supposed to work perfectly. So welcome everybody. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We're trying to figure some of them out. Anyway, welcome to the bridge this morning. We are on episode 121. And but this is a highlight here. Karrie's on with us, and Karrie was one of our very first recording episodes. So she's back, and I'm glad you had some great updates for us. So our two guests today are Karrie Zylstra and Lynell. I lost your name in front of me. Tell me your last name again.
Lynell, Caudillo.
Okay, thank you. And our co-host is Robbie Price. So welcome everybody to the bridge. And Robbie, have you got a quote for us?
I sure do. There is a kind of magicness about going far away and then coming back all changed. And that's by the American children's author Kate Douglas Wiggin.
Okay, thank you. Oh, somebody's going far away here today. So I'm going to have you ladies just briefly introduce yourselves, and then we'll get started on the agenda for today. So, Karrie, you want to start?
Sure. I'm Karrie Zylstra Myton. For a long time, I taught at a technical college, and that's where I met Sue McGuire. And since 2022, I started my own business called Art, Words, and Yoga. And that's what I'm here to talk about today, the retreat that we're planning to do to Iona, Scotland.
Okay, wonderful. Lynell?
My name's Lynell Caudillo. I'm a retired Presbyterian pastor, and my current role, where I met our cohort, who's not here today, Beth Prevost, who worked also at Bates, is through an Ignatian prayer retreat called SEAL, which is Spiritual Exercises in Everyday Life. We try to make prayer practical and spirituality practical too, Robbie. So through that connection, I met Karrie, and we were talking one day about Iona, Scotland. And so that's how this has evolved over the last year plus, hasn't it, Karrie?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's been about a year and a half.
Yeah.
I remember you talking about it when I first interviewed you, Karrie, and it was right in the beginning stages.
Yeah. So I first had the idea to do it. I was at my own little sort of retreat. I was doing some continuing education for yoga, and I was at a place overlooking the Hoods Canal. It's this beautiful body of water. And I was taking a class on how to lead international retreats. And I thought, where would I like to go? And Iona just sprang into my mind, along with Beth, our cohort who's not here. And then I just approached Beth, and we ran with it, and then we found Lynell too.
Beth has been to Iona about 5 times on retreats with her church. And my husband and I visited Iona, not on a particular retreat, but just on a trip. And we stayed there several days and thought, wow, this is a magical place. We want to come back. So that was my chance to come back.
Oh my
And
goodness.
lead a retreat with Karrie and Beth.
That's awesome. And so while we're talking about Iona, why don't you, Karrie, you said that Beth had a story. Why don't you share that story with us now?
Okay, I'm ready. So this is the story that Beth wrote about one of her experiences on her trips there. She says, the year was 2015. I was once again a part of a group from my church heading to the sacred Isle of Iona off the western coast of Scotland. This is not a place that is found by accident, perhaps because of its size. Iona is about 1 mile wide and 4 miles long. To travel to Iona from the wonderful jumping off point of Glasgow, there's a relaxing train ride, a ferry ride, a 1 hour bus ride, give or take, and then a short walk to the hotel. The length of the bus ride depends on how many times the bus must stop to allow sheep to cross the road, and how many times it must pull over on the one-lane road to let another vehicle to pass. All delightful. We left Glasgow right after breakfast and arrived on Iona mid-afternoon. I must tell you that I am a go-backer. Once I have found a place I love, I tend to return, to go back again and again. Iona is most definitely one of my go-back places, as evidenced by my 5 trips there. For me and my spirituality, Iona is one of those so-called thin places. A thin place is where the membrane, the separation between us and the divine, is very, very thin. It takes no time at all for me to have an awareness of the presence of God within and around me. During this 3rd trip, however, I wasn't quite yet experiencing that deep sense of sacred presence. Thinking North Beach might help me find where God was hiding, I sat out on my own after morning service at the Abbey. The sea soothed as it went from a light turquoise to a deep purple as it got further from land. Waves gently coming to shore made the rocks glisten with deep reds and greens and whites, and these all calmed me. A few bars of the Taze chant we sung in the Abbey floated through my perception. Come, O Holy Spirit, come. Come, Almighty Spirit, come. I pondered why the divine presence had not arrived yet. When would it arrive? Would it arrive? I thought back to my last trip to Iona 4 years before that. So much had transpired since then. My goodness. Back injury, diagnosis of an autoimmune disorder had tag teamed, pinning me to halftime work for a quarter. Thank God and Clinton for the family leave medical act. The loss of my little dog Damon, a dear friend dying without him even telling anyone he had lung cancer, and checking on a true soulmate I'd been concerned about and finding him dead. All these events, these gut-wrenching occurrences, these tragedies had tumbled through the last 4 years since I'd been on Iona. And I'd ridden these disruptions as a single woman ensconced in a church family, true. But I'd slogged through these storms as a single woman. I was exhausted. I was depleted. I was overwhelmed thinking back on those dreadful last 4 years. I cried more than a little bit, then sat, listened to the sea, watched the birds, breathed salt air in deeply, rested, realized I'd made it to Iona once again and was now nestled inside a comfy embrace. God was with me. God would grant me rest and renewal. Yes, renewal. That was it. I had finally returned to Iona because I needed renewal, starting right now. I spied a couple of small, flat, almost perfectly round stones on the beach. I gathered up 7 to remind me of the 7 letters in renewal. Another tune drifted through my mind. In the Lord I'll be ever thankful. In the Lord I will rejoice. Look to God, do not be afraid. Lift up your voices, the Lord is near. Lift up your voices, the Lord is near. Amen and amen.
Awesome, awesome. Wow, it sounds like an amazing place.
Yeah.
Really exciting. So why don't you talk to a bit about this retreat, because you guys are prepared for it, you're preparing for it, and you're in search of the perfect people to join you.
Yeah, right now we have 16 perfect people coming with us. So we're just looking for one more for her own or his woman single room or a double room. There's one bed left in the double room too.
Wow.
Yeah, somehow we've made all these connections.
The trip is next May, the end of May, May 22 through 29 in 2027.
Okay. Okay. And Karrie, when you and I first talked, you needed 2 people. So you've magically, somebody has shown up. So
Yeah, there was a
so
little shifting. So that's how we ended up with having one person, but still having space for 2 more.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But yes, the right people, and it's pretty important to have the right people. This is a special place, and the rooms are reserved for the right people.
Yep. And we
They
actually
are.
have a whole house reserved. We reserved the Bishop House, which is just down from the Abbey. The Abbey is like the thing you see when you look at the picture of the island. There's a huge old abbey built originally around 800 BC. And then just down the hill from that is the bishop's house, where once upon a time a bishop stayed. But no more. It's a retreat house now. And so we reserved the whole house for us.
Yeah.
And then Lynell, do you want to speak to your piece in that reservation and the role you'll be playing?
The bishop's house has its own chapel, and so each morning before breakfast, there's a time of prayer in the chapel. We'll have communion, the Eucharist will be celebrated, and in the evening, there's a Compline service as well. There are services up at the Abbey, and so people can choose between those, but that will be one of my responsibilities, is to lead worship, brief services. They're not more than a half an hour long, but the whole idea is for a spiritual renewal, to reconnect with God in meaningful ways. And throughout the day, our meals will be there at the bishop's house, so we'll be eating together. But the mornings and afternoons and later evenings will be offering a variety of opportunities for discussion, for small groups, for one-on-one time with I myself and Beth. Our other cohort is as our spiritual directors who are trained and experienced in that. And Karrie will lead us in some yoga classes, and art is something else we want to incorporate. And then there'll be just free time to walk on the island. There are many paths to the various beaches and so on, and just to explore, to put your feet in the water in the beach and so on. So we have a variety of things planned, and but there'll be many individual choices within the offerings in a given day.
Mm-hmm. That's fabulous. So tell me, is there a tale that goes with the spirituality of the island that you know about?
The abbey was founded by Saint Columba. Saint Columba was actually exiled from Ireland, and the story goes he got in a boat, and as he sailed, that was the first place where he could no longer see Ireland. And so the Isle of Iona is very tiny, as Beth referred to in her story, and it's in the Hebrides, which are just off the west coast of Scotland. And so he brought Christianity to Scotland and built the abbey. It's been rebuilt because of time, obviously, but there's roots of ancient Christian faith there, and Celtic Christianity, which is something else that's a part of the story of Scotland and the story of Iona. So that will be, we're starting a book group in September, and we'll be reading a book by John Philip Newell, who was, thank you, one of the bishops, Sacred Earth, Sacred Soul. And it's about Celtic Christianity and various people who contributed to our understanding of that. And yeah, so that will be for people who, it'll give us an opportunity to get acquainted with people going on the trip, because they're coming from all different places. Although we're based in the Seattle area, Seattle, Tacoma, the Northwest. We have people coming from all over, don't we, Karrie? Texas,
New Mexico,
East
North
Coast.
Carolina. I think it's North
Yeah.
Carolina.
So on Zoom, we'll have our book group and get acquainted now in advance of our actual trip. So that's kind of exciting.
I think one of the remarkable things about Celtic Christianity, or notable things too, is that it's really connected to the earth in a way that not all branches of Christianity are. So I think that's one of the things that draws us to it.
Absolutely.
Well, that sounds right up Robbie's alley.
Yeah, the nature-based spirituality and just being able to connect, that is, it really does put us in touch, I think. So, Karrie, I have a question for you. Lynell was telling us a little bit about what she expected the participants would take away, that spirituality and connection to God. I'm curious for you, in your previous retreats, obviously you took something away from it that inspired you or changed you in some way. And I'm curious what that was, first of all. And secondly, what you would like your participants to walk away from this particular retreat as far as yoga is concerned, because we know we're going to have the spirituality and the nature base. So from the yoga standpoint, can you give us a little perspective on what you would like them to take away and what you've taken away from your particular retreats based on yoga?
Right. So to answer the first part about what I've taken away, like it helps me if I think of one specific one. So I'm going back to that place on the Hoods Canal. It's I can't remember, the Harmony Hill, maybe it's called. It's a retreat that's made especially for people who are dealing with cancer or supporting people with cancer. I had lost my sister to cancer a little bit before, a year or two before I went on that retreat, and I found a lot of solace there, in the beauty and also in the people. Yoga offers me a particular kind of peace that I don't find in, just like straight up prayer and that kind of thing. It really helps me to do a little bit of movement, center, and then the movement, and then coming back to the center. And something about that routine, that I've been doing for a very long time. I started it when I was a teenager and I had teenage angst, and now, I'm menopausal, and so I have that kind of angst. So full
Very
circle,
similar.
but yoga's been there with me through it all. So I think what I would hope for the retreats with respect to yoga is they find the same sort of thing that I experienced, the beauty, the peace, with the movement in there. And like, I think one of the things that's really important to me, especially as I age and offer yoga to other people who are aging, is that we have an acceptance of our body and understand that yoga originally, Patanjali, the guy 2,000 years ago, even before Columba, he was not really talking about putting your body into these wild positions. The only position he talked about was the seated position you would take for meditation. And then all these beautiful wild positions that we've come up with since then, are really more recent, only in the last couple 100 years. And I don't think they're bad. I've really enjoyed the physical practice of yoga, but I do like to say that again, you don't have to do half moon or any other wild pose in order to practice yoga.
Yeah, and it's definitely about coming to the mat, and that yoga is the intention of it. Just arriving is, that's that connection to what's higher than us, to something greater than us, I think. So thank you so much for sharing.
Well, and I'm curious to push you further, Karrie, and Lynell too. I want to push you both with this because you have different aspects of the retreat. But what is your intentional outcome for the yoga participants or the retreat participants? What do you hope that they gain? Just one thing.
I would say it'll be unique, given that each person is unique, and what they are seeking and how they will encounter God will be unique for each individual. However, I just want to emphasize the body-mind connection, body, mind, and spirit are interconnected. You can't separate them. And so how we care for our bodies, how we feed, how we exercise, all of these things are interconnected. And the fact that God is creator, in my understanding, means God speaks through creation as well. So when we encounter nature, I mean, that's even in scripture for sure, about how God speaks through weather, through all kinds of experiences that over which we have no control. But, and I had some experiences as a child where I just knew God was present in nature. That was the most natural thing to me. And so as we grow, I've been to seminary, I have a theological understanding of a lot of things, but fundamentally, whether we've read a Bible or encountered the person of Christ in the scripture or something like that, we can experience God without a Bible, without, going to seminary for sure, because God is always speaking. And so the question is, are we listening? And that's my hope for everyone who comes on this journey together, is that because that membrane between the divine and us is thinner in a place like Iona, that we will have divine encounters all over the place, but they will be unique, positive, and through the yoga, through art, through even just conversing with someone at mealtime, whatever, I expect that all of us will be encountering God in each other as well.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, that connection with God and beauty and nature. I mean, you can't run away from it. You really can't. It's there. So, Karrie, how about you? What is one outcome that you'd really like to see in the participants?
I'll just repeat peace. I mean, that's what I've experienced that has been the most transformative on my retreat, and so
That's
I
awesome.
would hope that people find transformative peace too.
Yeah. So, is everyone open to joining your book group, or is it closed just to participants?
We wrestled with that, and we decided to keep it closed,
Okay.
in part to manage the chaos that is putting a retreat together, and in part because one of the main purposes of creating this book club, aside from giving people a background with Iona, was so that we could form connections with each other as a group
Right.
before
Yeah.
step away and spend 7 days only with each other.
Yeah. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Anything, if someone is listening to this and their interest is piqued about retreat, ooh, maybe I could do that.
Yep.
What would be a couple of things you'd tell them to start with?
I think the first thing I'd say is the same thing that instructor said to me: start small. So this is not the first retreat that Beth and I have put together. We did some local retreats in the area. We went to this, I think it was the Center for Spiritual Living. We had a retreat there, and we had a retreat at a different, just a day retreat that was like 20 minutes away from our house. And that gave us, that helped us learn how to coordinate with each other. That helped us, figure out what all was involved in creating a retreat on a much more manageable level. I'm really glad that we did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be the first thing I would say. Do small first.
Sure. Small first. And then tell me the thing that jumps out at me is, number one, if I want to do a retreat, I've probably got some leadership germs in me, the fact that I even want to do it. And then number two, do I need to be a skilled facilitator, or do I need to have speakers? What are some of the skills I need to have to move ahead successfully? And Robbie, you've done them too. You need to join the conversation.
Let me just say, I think the fact that the three of us are working together, each of us brings different gifts. So we each complement the other. And so I think that's the advantage of having a team.
Yeah.
And let me just back up one to your previous question and say, if people are interested in spiritual exercises in everyday life, they can go to SEAL, which is SEEL, PugetSound.org. And we're starting a retreat. It's a 9-month retreat in September, but we can do it on Zoom and in person if you're here in the Pacific Northwest. We meet in Tacoma in Seattle. And so that's an opportunity for someone who may have never been on a retreat, who has interest, to at least check out our website.
Sure.
But I think to lead a
And if
retreat.
you want to lead a retreat, I would definitely go on one first too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Well, and Lynell, I'll have you text me that and I'll get it in the notes that
Sure.
I sent.
Thank you.
And
Thank
the
you.
other thing, Karrie, do you think Beth would mind if you gave me a copy of that to put
Oh
on
no,
the
yeah.
Okay,
us to
well,
share.
that would be awesome. That would,
Yep.
yeah, it's beautiful and
Yep.
it's
Just got it done, or I would have sent it to.
yeah, and it's so lyrical that it would take a deeper reading to really bite into it. So
Yeah.
that's true. So I have another question, just in general about what you do, but I don't want to leave this retreat preparation part without any closing thoughts from any of you?
There's a lot to it. Don't think that it's going to be restful to organize a retreat. It's not like going on a retreat. I mean, you need that experience as
Yeah,
a framework, but it's
yeah.
really, really a lot of work.
The back end of it is always
end of it.
bigger than it seems.
And
Yeah.
ours being international adds another layer to it. But I think, as Karrie said, go start local, go somewhere close by. There's all kinds of retreats available. It depends on what an individual's looking for.
Well, and I'm sure that Beth's connection to Iona has really been helpful. The fact that she knows the territory. But anyway, Robbie, any final questions on this portion?
Yeah, I was just thinking that the three coordinate, orchestrate this, because something that, that's a skill that you need to have when working together and developing something like that. And you said you each bring your own elements to the table. And so it's great that you have found this synergy of the three of you working together with your strengths,
Yeah,
Well,
it's kind of funny. It was almost like, to get spiritual again, it was almost like given to us by the divine, because like that, I hadn't seen Beth in a long time when I had that, vision or whatever that said, this is what you should do. And then I reached out to Beth and we just kind of took baby steps forward, and we got stuck with, where we were going to stay. Beth found the bishop's house and she was like, okay, well, but we can't stay there unless we have an ordained clergy member to offer those
and she
services.
popped up. I'm here.
She was down in Olympia, and Lynell walked up to Beth out of the blue and said, we should go to Iona sometime. And Beth was like, okay.
Oh, my
That was at a political gathering too.
I take all the credit.
Right.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The merging of the visions. I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's fabulous. Well, and I want to reach out to you when you return, please, and we'll maybe for sure have Beth on, and Robbie can join us. I would love for you to meet Beth. She's a fabulous gal, and to debrief how it went, and you can tell us what you're doing next, because you guys might go on the road, huh?
For a while. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I want to turn it to, actually, this is just from personally me. I want to ask Beth, Karrie, in your classes with yoga, do you teach meditation?
Yes. Well, I think ever since I first began yoga with Raquel Welch, if you can believe that, I learned it from a book because she looked beautiful on the cover. And so I picked up this book, and that's when I first started doing yoga. Yeah. It's kind of a funny way to step in, but that's how I did. But even in that very first, like Hollywood sort of version, there's always meditation in yoga. Like when you center at the beginning, that's meditation. And when you do Shavasana at the end, again, you're doing meditation. And when I was first reading that book, I was a teenager and I really wasn't into the meditation part at all. But I remember Raquel said, I didn't like it either, but now it's the best part. And I didn't believe her, but
Yeah.
she was right. Yes, absolutely. I do teach meditation. It's a part and parcel of yoga.
And I'm curious because I'm very been a Christian for a long time, very much a prayer, and have meditated in a prayerful way. But I'm finding out now as I do the research on the brain and how it's so important for you to get into the state of coherence, which is meditation. And so I'm learning how to meditate. I have a coherence coach. He's a great Christian. And we're trying to blend some. I mean, I was a worship leader for years. So, I know some of the sensations, but I'm working on it. And so just curious because, I know but do you still do yoga classes online?
I haven't done them online. I didn't have a lot of response when I offered it online, so I'm still just doing them in person. I have offered some of my seminars hybrid, so a little bit in person and a little bit online. That's worked pretty well, but I don't have it here online.
Just curious because I'm really progressing along learning how to do it, and
maybe after I get through this retreat, I'll give it another go.
Maybe so. And I'm still, I'm still in a wheelchair, so I'm not real mobile right now. And so I would, although I'm getting some practice, but I would love the, I don't know. I just think it's great to be there to kind of meeting God in the Holy of Holies, I like to put it. I'm doing the tabernacle study of how you enter the Holy of Holies, and they're all so aligned with the work. So anyway, so the anything else that you want to tell us either about the retreat or about your you've talked about the wonderful leadership experiences. What more can you tell us?
I think one other thing about our retreat that might be kind of unique, it starts in Glasgow, and we're going to meet there so that people have the opportunity to travel beforehand if they want to, see some other sites in Scotland, Ireland, the UK, whatever. But we'll meet in Glasgow and take the train, as Beth described, to the Isle of Iona, and then we'll return. We'll do that in reverse so that people have the opportunity at the end of the trip, if that's when they want to travel. So we planned it purposely that way. So people have to get there themselves. We're not orchestrating that part because we know folks like to kind of have some freedom to do that. And if they're going to Scotland, there's so much more to see besides Iona. And so, and it's very rich in terms of church history as well. So my husband and I enjoyed that aspect of it when we were there before being pastors. We'd studied the Reformation and so on. So it was fun to visit those places. And just a little aside, that Mary Queen of Scots slept a lot of places. So any castle you visit or whatever, you hear about Mary Queen of Scots. But anyway, so it's kind of unique in that regard that we will meet there and have our week together on Iona and return to Glasgow. And then folks can travel prior to or after. So that's kind of a unique aspect of what we're planning as well.
So is this is all the information about the retreat on our website?
Yep.
Okay,
It's on-
so we'll give me that to put in the notes.
I'll
Yeah.
send you that too. Yep.
Okay, and the prices and et cetera, et cetera.
all of
Cetera.
it's there.
Okay.
All the things.
Yeah. So, what is one takeaway that you have from our conversation today?
I think that the process of planning a spiritual retreat is a spiritual exercise in itself.
Sure.
Takeaway.
That's
We sort
wonderful.
of knew that. We sort of talked about that before, but
Mm-hmm.
it's more forefront right now.
Well, yeah, and in conjunction with that, it's really important for the three of you that are creating this to be on the same page.
Yeah.
And I would say that's the other aspect of it for me, is that we meet God in community.
Mm-hmm.
If we believe in a Trinitarian God, God self is community. And so we encounter God in each other. And that's been wonderful for us as we've been planning the retreat. And I'm very grateful for Beth and for Karrie. It's been really fun, really fun. And we've been able to pray for each other through all this about things that are going on in our lives, as well as the retreat. So it's been a blessing.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So, Robbie, what's one takeaway for you?
I was really fascinated with the, everyday spirituality, because that's what I teach as well. And the nature-based, aspect of it, and being in community with, communion with something greater than ourselves. And I think that really resonated with me for sure. And then doing it with yoga, of course, two of my favorite things.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, I'm just overwhelmed with the community here. The four of us, and I want to say hi to Beth because we're going to send this to her. And you're not off the hook, darling. You're coming on.
Her idea too. How much is that? You should ask Sue.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Well, she's always been a good promoter. She's an awesome lady. So anyway, so we're gonna say goodbye for now, and you guys are gonna give me some of those links so I can put them on the page.
Sure.
And, yeah. And any questions you have for Robbie or I before we let you go?
No question. Just thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
to meet you both.
For Robbie, hold on. I have one for Robbie. Robbie, have you ever done an international retreat?
I have done a couple of them. Yes. I haven't put them on. I've attended them.
You attended them?
Yes.
And what's been like a takeaway for you from one of those
That
you enjoyed?
For me, it was another situation where there was creativity that was also embedded in it, and plenty of time to just commune. And I really like that. So yoga was the thing that got us there. But then once we were there, having all these other opportunities to commune in different ways was really something that I took away from it, and that really inspired me. And I've stayed in touch with 30 of the people from the retreats that I've been on. So it's just on a regular, weekly basis. So, yeah. So, and that's the thing, WhatsApp group, for people when they come back, so that you can take that with you. We haven't lost the magic, and it's been several years. So having an opportunity for people to connect afterwards and stay in touch is really valuable. Yeah.
Robbie has lots of international contacts. In fact, where's the gentleman from that we've been trying to connect? Is he from England or?
Yes, Andrew's from England. Yeah, but we have friends in Scotland, England, France, Germany, Netherlands, all over, India.
Yeah. And, Meeting on the Bridge is getting quite international too. We've had quite a few people. I've got a gentleman from India coming on the end of the month. Like I said, I had a gentleman from Berlin just on last week.
Yeah.
And anyway, we're becoming international too. And this, so I'm going to ask you, ladies, if you might be interested in, what I'm really feeling a sense of, and here we are live, but I'm going to go for it. This connection between the brain science and reprogramming your brain and meditation and the God connection is the new wave. It's becoming its own entity because it's really being, pardon me?
The new, very old wave.
Yeah. And it has been around forever and people have known it, but it hasn't been on the forefront. And in my studies about leadership, it's just what most people talk about. And one of the things they call it is presence. You're present, and it has to do with communication. But I mean, it's coming around so much that I'm, I think it's the new bellwether, and I'm one of those 2 years ahead of the game predictors. So I'm going to invite you on to be participants as we start. I have some like-minded people that we're going to start meeting online like this. So if you would be interested to come on, give your input, and it'll probably, maybe if I learn how to do live, it'll be live.
Sure, you will.
Oh, yes, I will. And I don't know, maybe you guys could do a live broadcast from Scotland.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Ireland's fairly remote. I guess they have internet, but who knows? We'll find out for sure. I mean, I know they have internet.
We could just do a little worship session from one of the chapel services or something.
That would be lovely, yeah.
Or just a hello.
Yeah.
Hi from Scotland, remote Scotland. Would you please hang on just for a second as I close the recording, and we'll talk afterwards. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the bridge. Bye-bye.